Hi, everybody, and welcome back to yet another interview over here at Behind That Sue. It's your boy, Holden Stephan Roy, and joining me tonight is Mr.
ShiesDaGod.
It's very exciting. I've been talking with him a little bit before recording, and y'all are in for a treat. So, as you all know, we got the current little mission going on where we are trying to showcase the people in Montreal that are creating music and doing things to our little effort here to put us on the map in that regard. So all his music, that whatever links, socials, it's going to be all down below, and I highly encourage y'all to check out what's going on his Spotify and whatnot, because it's very exciting and all that. Anyway, just assume that on my side of this whole audience, nobody knows who you are at all. What we do know is that you from Montreal.
Yeah, born in Toronto, raised in Montreal since I was 2.
Fair enough. So basically there. So what part of Montreal are you from?
Honestly, I have to say South Shore, Brossard area, but I lived all over from Dermontagne, NDG, Côte-des-Neiges.
All right, fair enough. We are over in NDG now, so that's real cool. So let's talk about just your music in general. And I like the idea of just going to the beginnings and hearing about how you got into it in the first place and when that was.
It started when I was 12. I started doing poetry, actually.
Oh, very cool.
And I was in Sec 1. I started writing some poetry. I submitted a poem, Racism, that's what it was called. And it actually got published for the whole school board. So, like, the whole school board...
Is it like that For All Seasons book thing that they would send around?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's wicked!
Pretty much. So, yeah, I went to Laval. They had this whole ceremony, gave awards out and stuff like that. So, it was pretty dope. And then after, I started just loving music. It makes you happy. If you're down, you can listen to certain music. If you're hype, cleaning, anything, you know what I mean? There's a vibe for every vibe that you're feeling. So I got into hip hop, and I was really enjoying it. And then Biggie put me on.
Was it like when you were 12 that you got into hip hop?
Yeah, pretty much. Like before, I would listen to, because I grew up listening to everything: country music, heavy metal, rock and roll, like from Twisted Sister to Alan Jackson to you name it, like anything. And and I just really loved it. Like, it spoke to me. So that's why I got into it. Taught myself how to write a verse by listening to Biggie's "Kick in the Door." Actually,
okay.
I learned about bars, and that's how I really started actually writing.
So this is your like real young teenager, and you start writing bars.
Yeah.
And then how long does it go before that actually starts to turn into something a little bit more?
I'd say maybe when I was about 17, 18, I started getting into battles, because I didn't know how to write right off the bat, and I didn't really know how to put together verses or songs. So what I did is I would just freestyle all the time.
Okay.
So I would be chilling with my boys, and we'd all just freestyle, and then a few of them were like, "Yo, you're actually really good. Like, we should do something with this." So I started getting into battles. There were these battle me's on the South Shore. I won the first one, and then I did this battle show on Music Plus, actually.
So just so y'all know, Music Plus, I'm going to interrupt when it's to explain Quebec stuff.
No problem.
Music Plus is the Montreal French version of MTV. It's all right, I suppose. It's downtown, so you can walk by it, and that makes it cool for me. Anyway, from a notoriety perspective, it's actually a really cool thing to be involved with something associated with it, not to make fun. All right, sorry.
So I just started doing that and doing battles. I didn't end up winning the one on Music Plus, unfortunately, you know what I mean? But I got pretty far, actually. And
so it was like a tournament?
Yeah, it was different than what I was used to, just because they would give us topics.
Okay.
So they would say, for example, my topic, if I remember correctly, was Michael Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. So they're like, okay, well, you gotta rap about Michael Jackson. So I go and I started freestyling about Michael Jackson the best I could, talking about him, holding the baby over the balcony and so on, basically turning white from black,
Yeah.
All that stuff. Like, he was definitely, obviously, still a legend, even in his death. But it was a little bit different for me. So that's why I was like, you know what, I have to start learning how to change up just from regular freestyles and kind of like expand a little bit.
That's interesting. So basically, if I understand correctly, you basically on the block freestyling with people. So it kind of sounds like the early New York stuff where people would just kind of whatever. Did you ever go around in that kind of street style of like battling people in a more random sense?
Yeah, all the time. We would be, just downtown as kids, just hanging out, doing our thing, and then people would be, we like meet new people or people that we knew from wherever, Burgundy or whatnot, DG, wherever area, and they knew I rapped, I knew they rapped, so we just get together and just freestyle and just like we gain mutual respect based off of the strength of our rhymes.
So just for the sake that we're trying to document some Montreal history in this moment, who are some of the more significant people you can remember going against?
That's a very good question, and I got the memory of a weed smoker, even though I don't smoke trees. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
To be honest with you, I can't really think of any names right now because that was quite a long time ago. Like I said, I was in my teens.
No, that's fair.
And that was not that long ago, but long enough for me not to really remember. But there were a few. Like it's not the biggest city. Everybody knows everybody, right? So
right.
Everybody's rubbing elbows at some point.
That's fair enough. So then you get into writing songs after doing this music produce thing, and then how does that go for you? Do you get into shows, making albums, any of that world?
Shows-wise, I haven't really done many shows. I did when I was about 16. I was rapping with these French guys out in Dermontang, and I was the English rapper in the group. And we booked like a couple of small shows at very, very small venues around that area. Nothing too crazy, but we had our little fan base, and then I decided that I didn't want to come up. Not that I don't respect, the French rap and everything in our city, but I just wanted to be known as a independent solo artist, as opposed to being someone else associated with a group or part of a group. So I just broke off. I let them do their thing, and I just went my own way for the next couple of years.
And so during that time, were you like in creation mode?
For the most part, yeah, but it kind of died down after like once I had kids, once I started having kids.
How long ago was that?
Excuse me. My oldest daughter is 13 right now, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I started having kids, and I'm like, well, look, this rap it's great. It doesn't put any food on the table, so I got to make sure that she was eating, right? So then 2 years after, I had my son, and then 2 years after that, I had my other daughter. So I was kind of just nonstop being a parent, yeah.
All right, so then I guess a bunch of time's going to have passed at that point. You've developed this skill set, and then what made you decide to like come back at this, right? Because that's to me that's the most interesting part, right? Is you as a parent decided to like fuck, I'm gonna start rapping.
Yeah, yeah. Well, basically, I it's just something I've always loved to do. I find that it's a way for me if I'm happy, I'll rap about that. If I'm like frustrated or aggravated, angry, then I'll get my frustrations out through that. So I just needed a release, and then I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm like, I have to get this recorded. I have to put this out into the world, because anytime I made any kind of music, people were telling me, they would hit me up, whether message, call me, and they'd be like, listen, I'm feeling this. You need to do something. You need to do something. So I said, fuck it. I'm like, I'm gonna try and pursue this and do it to the best of my ability.
So basically, previously it had been the familial obligations that had kept you from deciding to actually pursue it.
Yeah, well, basically it's just, family my kids is what basically made me, kind of take a little break. But I feel like I haven't lost a step since I left. And
did you keep like practicing, like freestyling and all that while in like the process?
Yeah, like during that time I wasn't really recording much music.
Yeah, but not recording, but like, because it's like a muscle, it's like a skill. So like, if you rap every day, it doesn't matter if you're writing a song. Yeah. 8 years later, you're gonna be 8 years better.
Yeah, pretty much. I had to. It was something I had to keep doing. So we would go, whether we're at a house party, whether it's just chilling with the boys, I would always end up freestyling one way or another. It kind of forced my hand in that regard. So
you've been a freestyler for the most part, and now when you write your songs that are now out. Is this freestyled at first that you recorded, or is it actually like at some point you said, I'm gonna start writing?
Basically, like, I'll kind of like take you through the process of me when I write, whether it's a verse or a song.
That's a fantastic idea.
So what I do is like, I hear the beat, like I'll get like X amount of beats, and then whatever I'm feeling at that moment, I'll pick a beat, and then when I do, I figure what the song's gonna be about. So I do deal with it, for example, like it's a story. I'll have my beginning, I'll have my end, and what I'll do is I'll try and fill it up. So I'll essentially go and figure out what my flow is and just freestyle on it. And, now with all apps and everything, it's not like it was back in the day. So I'll just go and I'll record myself, and I'll listen to what I listen to what I do and know the flow, and I'll kind of fill in the blanks, and then I'll get that story. So the intro makes me know how I'm going to be starting my song off to go towards the middle with all the core of the song and what content's going to be there until the end. So I'll kind of find a way to work towards the end. It's like a little journey, every song or every verse that I write, I guess.
That's really cool. But you definitely get to the part where it's not writing as opposed to...
I mean, it starts as kind of freestyle because I have to know how I'm gonna flow on the beat.
Okay.
And the only way for me to do it, I can't just hear a beat and just start writing, and then that's the final product. I have to have some sort of flow, and the only way to do that is to kind of get into the music and feel the music and just say whatever comes out naturally first, have that recorded and put aside, and then you, like I said, you just fill in the blanks and just add the that lyrical content thereafter.
Very interesting. So around how long ago did you decide to get back into it?
It was on and off for a little bit, but honestly, I came out with The Usual Suspects, the EP, about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
We shot a video for You Don't Know Me with my boy ShiesDaGod. Sky Beats produced it, and that was actually when I decided to get back in, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, I really need to do this because it was just such a great feeling shooting that video, and dealing with good people who are people who I respect in the game that are really good at what they do. I consider them to be masters of their craft. So I'm like, it really gave me that good vibe, that energy that I had from back in the day that made me want to start doing it. So I just wanted to keep feeling that feeling. So I had to get back into it about a year and a half ago.
Sky Beats shot the video?
No, it wasn't Sky Beats.
Okay.
It was Ben Fry who actually shot the video. He's very dope, very, very good.
Fair.
The video's top notch. But Sky Beats was the one who produced the entire the whole EP.
In terms of instrumentals and whatnot.
Excuse me, yeah.
And what's the EP called?
The Usual Suspects.
Right. I think I remember when that dropped.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I checked that out when it did because I know Sky Beats from back in the day. It was, I don't know if you know who Spades is.
No, I'm not sure.
Anyway.
I just met these guys. Funny enough, it was because it was me, Slick Jack, and SGATs, and basically Slick hit me up and he's like, look, I want to record with you, whatever, let's do this, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, cool. So I wrote a little verse, and that one verse turned into something where he was like, look, I know this dude SGATs, he's dope, let's do a track with him. So he jumped on the track, and then that turned into a whole EP. Sky ended up making the beats for us, and funny enough, I didn't meet Sky or Gats until the whole EP was done, mixed, mastered,
Really?
and after that was done, we ended up having the video shoot. That's where first time I met them. That was
crazy.
Yeah, I didn't we spoke through WhatsApp, we'll talk and whatever, voice notes and so on, send back ideas and send the tracks, but that's it. I remember walking into the video shoot and I seen Gats was there, and Sky was there, and then the first thing I go see Gats. I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, hold on. Right away, pours 2 shots of Jameson. He's like, now we can say hello.
That's really, I think that's fascinating, right? Because it just kind of shows the world that we've hit, right? So you recorded this at home?
Yeah, I recorded this at Slick's place actually.
Okay, so basically, more
at a home studio, yeah.
And then via internet and smartphones and whatnot, you essentially negotiated and created an entire project.
Yeah, pretty much.
Living in the same city with these dudes.
Yeah.
Not meeting these dudes.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of crazy. But on the other hand, it's literally how you ended up here, right?
Yeah,
because we met today.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. It was because of West. Shout out Peter West, too.
Yeah, who, I'll be honest, I can't say I've met him.
Oh, really?
Well, I basically how it works is like this. I'm trying to understand Montreal's hip-hop scene. So I feel like if the 70 people we have friends in commons with are all rappers, or those girls that are always friends with the same rappers. And I'm not saying anything about them, but not all of those ladies are rappers. Actually, a lot of them are makeup artists and they're all legit. It's just they happen to be a bunch of ladies that are friends with all the same rappers. Anyway, I'll hit that. And at some point, Peter West was one of those dudes I added, and then he started posting stuff. And he had some live beat thing one time where I popped in and commented for a second. And so over time, I just kind of saw he was doing stuff, and he was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I suppose you notice when people post smart shit, or at least I find it appealing when dudes are like in their 30s and acting like they're in their 30s, which is something I find like in my conversations with you. You seem to be of that more mature, I'm an adult type person, and I felt he was a bit like that. Whereas not everybody in their 30s behaves such a way online.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I don't know. I saw he had talent and whatnot, and then I knew he was moving with people, and then he, linked me in contact with you, and then went down. And I think I added SGATs once upon a time in a similar capacity, and I actually don't know if I've ever spoken with him. I might have. In which case, I'm probably rude if he was watching this and he's like, "I'm motherfucking talking." In which case, my bad.
No, I'm sure it's all good.
In which case, y'all come through and
you know.
But yeah, so I think that's really amazing, and it's kind of leading in just to a new tangent in the conversation, is because you're now an artist dropping music. I'm an artist putting out music. It's not really about me, but we face a similar challenge: how to generate buzz as older dudes, right? That's the challenge we face, and I'll bet a lot of dudes in the city and ladies are facing a similar challenge. We're over the age of 30, and we are in this world, and we can't act like we're 21 anymore.
Yeah, definitely not.
So, do you think the internet has the potential to create for you this audience and this marketplace where you can kind of dodge some of the shit, like being forced to party every day?
I mean, yeah, you can, because it's like, for example, if you look, let's say 50 years ago, right? Someone will find you locally. If you don't have like any A&Rs or anything like that are around you locally, or just happen to see you doing a show at, your local venue at some point in time, you're not going to get anywhere. Now, what we can do is, my listeners, I'll be honest with you, the majority of my listeners are in Germany right now.
That's insane, no?
Yeah, I got people in Czech Republic. I have people in Japan listening to me. I have listeners in like, Estonia. I've never even heard of that country, but I mean,
they're really nice. I've worked actually with a couple of Estonians, and they're always really kind people. I think my girlfriend's been there, and she loved her time.
Well, that's amazing. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I've never heard of the country, but
there's like 100. There's a lot of countries, like a lot of countries on Earth.
No, pretty much. You know what I mean? So that's it. Like all these listeners, like they would never be, if I don't have a major publishing deal or record deal, period. Then there's no way that I'm going to be able to get that distribution before. Now we can do it without it. We can just say, hey, we're going to go through, whatever distributor you want to go through, and you can do everything independently. Now independent artists are getting crazy buzz and getting all over the world. People are listening to their music, and they're doing this themselves they're creating their own labels because of the internet, because of someone likes something and they share, and then that person shares, then two people. Next thing you know, you have 1 million people watching a music video that you made, and 99.9% of those people, like, you don't know, and half of them are probably not even in the same country as you.
That's
so fair. I think it's one of the most important things, like one of the most important tools that we could use nowadays in order to get our names out there as artists.
So outside of the music, or even with the music, how do you plan? Because I'm curious, just in general, I think we should, all of us artists, share more how we plan on marketing our shit successfully. Because I assume you're not into the tag 99 friends and a song strategy.
I don't really do that, no.
Right, I don't either, because nobody likes it.
Yeah.
So let's call it healthy tactics. What are some of the healthier things you see yourself doing to actually grow a fan base?
I mean, as it stands, because like I said, it's like, as it is, everybody knows somebody. So the people that are close to me, for example, let's say, like my cousin or like my very good friends or so on, what they'll do is they'll put up a post if, for example, I come out with a new single. I'll speak to them, and they'll be like, oh, you coming out with new music? And either they'll say, okay, I'm going to put it up on my Instagram, or I'll put it up on my Facebook or whatever. Dude, instead of force feeding it down people's throats and like sending it to like 500 of, quote unquote closest friends on Facebook or whatever it is. So like organically, I try and just have people that I know help me out, but they'll do it willingly, as opposed to, again, force feeding it down to people and forcing it down their throats, because it's not a tactic I like to use.
So what's really interesting about what you just said is that you get other people to share your stuff. Now, my day job involves being up to date with the trends of social media. I might not be good at this. We'll say it's part of my job. And something I've learned is if you post something, nobody cares. And I've even learned this, like, pushing music and everything, right? It's like at a certain point, if you're a somebody, you don't have to talk.
Yeah, pretty much.
And unfortunately, we live in a city of spammers. And I'm certain it's a world of spammers. It's not just like a local problem. But when people go here, oh, I got a new song, I think a lot of us rappers don't really remember the other 97 messages that person got maybe this month.
Yeah.
So the idea of you getting somebody else to share it is really smart, actually, because it just shows that other people have interest in you.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of showing a little bit, you don't need to do that shit, you know?
Well, I mean, I also share things myself.
Right.
Like, I'm not just going to be like, hey, everybody share this. I'm just going to sit there with my arms crossed in the
No,
back room, you know?
but the fact that that's the first move you said, right? It
Yeah,
just, to me, it just shows smarts.
It makes the most sense to me, right? Because, like you said, nobody cares if you do something. So if you do one thing, if you can have the greatest movie in the world that's ever been made, excuse me, and at the end of the day, no one will give a shit because you're the one promoting yourself until you end up getting to a point where that you're so big or you're a celebrity, then everybody's going to be jumping on your dick. And like, to me, that frustrates me because I think we spoke about this the first time we spoke, is that, you know, like we're going and we're grinding and we're hustling, we're trying to get everything done, and people are just like, meh, I'm not even going to bother putting a like, I'm not going to share. And fine, that's their prerogative, I don't mind. You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, even if they don't like my music. That's amazing. I love that, because if you don't like my music, you're going to tell people how shitty my music is, and that spreads my name. And if you love it, you're going to do the same. You're going to say, hey, it's good. So for me, listen, if you love it or hate it, that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
For the record, I listen to his shit objectively. It reminds me of that grimy New York shit. It's nice. I would recommend it. So even if people might hate it, I would recommend it.
I appreciate that. But yeah, it's
But you're right. People, and I'm not trying to say this because I recognize what it looks like for me to say it, but on a real, the people I know personally don't really give a shit about what I do. It's honestly just strangers who I find care, like, which is most of y'all watching this, especially because the people that I know that are watching it there are a few of you, and I know you're out there, and y'all are dope. Don't think I don't know you. But in general, most people watching this are going to be the people that don't live in the city that I got from this channel, and then whoever the fuck cares about you from your list. Because I'm not going to generate views for this, right? Just because of the nature of where I'm at in the game. So why? Because I don't have the numbers yet to have a lot of people just going, oh, this is cool. However, it seems like when people check it out, they dig it, and that makes me really like inspired to keep going. And even if we don't have the numbers today, just think in 10 years this could be at 1 million views.
I'm sure it'll be less than that. Less than 10 years.
Well, less than 10 years, not less than 1 million views, my friend.
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. It'll be that well over 1 million, I'm sure.
So a couple more things definitely have to be brought up. You start this in your mid-30s. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
I know we don't, we're getting older, but
yeah, you just put me right on public there, mid-30s.
It's cool though, and I say that because there's a lot of us in this age group. Do you think that we could build a scene for the older cats?
Yeah, probably, because, I mean, you have to understand, no matter what age group you're at, there's someone who's going to feel what you're talking about because they went through the same thing. You know, if I'm talking about, like, being younger and, like, hitting up my boys with the StarTAC Motorola phone, people are going to be like, holy shit, the StarTAC Motorola, yo, that was the baller phone back in the day. You know, like, I love that shit. I used to pull it out and be like, oh, yeah, I just got my StarTAC over here. Like, that was the shit, you know what I mean? Like, before you had, like, all these touchscreens and all kinds of shit, and, like, it was like that was the shit, and people our age or older are gonna feel that. So there's always no matter what age that you're in, there's gonna be people that are gonna feel what you're saying because they've like either heard about whatever you're experiencing and whatever you're talking about, or they've experienced it themselves.
So it was a bit of a loaded question because I just want people to hear that older cats can go ahead and do some shit. You know what I'm saying? But also,
of course, experienced cats.
That we should be kind of building this scene collectively. And I understand that you're not riding solo in your journey. Or not, they say you're not a solo artist, but you're working with people along the way.
Yeah, well, that's it right now. We're starting a label, Gopher Gang Entertainment.
Right.
Which is me, S. Gats, as well as Peter West. So we're in the process of finalizing all that. And, I mean, honestly, I'm just happy that I found people that are so good at what they do, and like I really respect what they do and think like me and Gas, for example, he'll write a verse and then I'll hear his verse and be like, fuck, I gotta rewrite my verse. So I'll do that and he'll hear my verse and be like, fuck, all right, cool, now I gotta do it, to a point where we're just like, all right, cool, let's just choose the best version of this verse and, you know, get it on there. So like I love that, and like that's something that we do, and like I like working with people that bring each other up, and they're just like, it's not just like emptiness, you know what I mean? There's like real love there, where it's like, look, I think you're excellent at what you do and I want to fuck with you. And that's the people I'm working with now. And honestly, West, he's crazy with his beats. Every beat he sends me is just better and better and better, and it blows my mind.
I have heard a few of his beats, and the guy makes quality. It's facts. So if you're watching this, Peter West, quality.
It's true. And even Sky as well, like he made those beats, and he's incredible. He's really good at what he does, even with his mixing and everything, his mastering, and even shooting videos.
Here's the thing about Sky Beats that blows my mind. I have been to his crib, and I recorded a cypher verse for this thing we did once upon a time. And actually, he did one of the tracks on my album. So the
really?
mixing and mastering on one of my albums, whatever, not to like self promote, is actually mixed and mastered mixed by Sky or whatever. And then my dude finished the process after.
Okay.
But like, I went into the booth, we spit the shit. He was done in like 45 minutes.
Excuse me, yeah.
45 minutes.
He's quick, he's good. Like I see him when he's working, he just click this, click that. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing, but I'm like, it looks like he knows what he's doing. I'm
not gonna lie, walking into his little basement, kind of led me to go, oh fuck, I could do this too. What?
And he's got the whole private booth and everything set up.
Yeah,
it's dope, man. He's got a dope setup.
Yeah, it's really nice. But yeah, quality stuff in this city. So it's cool to see that you linked up with them. And so what are your like big moves in the next little bit?
I mean, honestly, right now, I'm really not trying to put out any album or EPs for the time being. I just really want to focus on singles, and I was speaking to Sky and someone else, actually. We're going to work on some visuals for what we got out. So right now, the song that's really doing well is the song Relationship. That's me solo. And what I want to do is I want to get visuals for that. And then their song Gun You Down too. It's hype. That song is hype as fuck. We want to get visuals for that as well, and then we're just gonna try and keep working towards videos and getting things on there, because that's really what people want, and that's what I've been asked for. So that's what we're gonna do.
So as a freestyler, do you ever consider doing some shit like weekly freestyles? Because as a marketer, dude, it's honestly best practice to have something in your life that's regular releases. I'm not a freestyler guy really, so it's not like that's an option so much for me. But if you're able to just bust freestyles like that, is that something you consider doing?
I don't think so, because I'm really trying to go more to like that's how I started out initially, and that will always, you know, be part of my resume, a big part of who I am, as a matter of fact, as an artist. But at the end of the day, I'm just really trying to focus on studio singles right now, as opposed to doing the, you know, freestyle like once every week or every couple weeks or once a month even, because I just kind of want to take a track from, you know, beginning to end, and making sure that it's something that's kind of like perfectly formulated, that shows like it's a part of me, basically, recorded and send it out there. Because freestyles, you know, you can go way out of left field and start rapping about God knows what, you know what I mean? So it's me. Everything that I put out there, I want it to represent me like 100%, like wholeheartedly represent me, and that's what I kind of want to focus on for the time being.
I really respect that. I like the fact that substance seems to matter to you,
Yeah,
because I like the fact that substance seems to matter more in the pop sphere these days, which is just very good for substance. This is going to be a random question, but I decided it's going to be something I'm going to ask everyone. What time do you wake up at on a regular?
I mean, it really depends on the day. Sometimes I'm up at 6 in the morning. Sometimes I'm up at 2 in the afternoon. It depends what I was doing the night before, I guess.
So it's very more of a fluid schedule in your life.
Yeah, for the most part. I'm trying to regulate that, though. I'm trying to get up early, get to the gym, and then get started on my day. But, well, it's all in due time, I guess.
Fair enough. But I guess where I'm going with this is time management, right? Because I care a lot about time management. I am a corporate fucker, so a lot of these buzzwords are very exciting to me. But the truth of the matter is, if you creating rap, you're making singles, it takes time. Like it just isn't a quick process to do studio shit, right? Like there are I'm not saying you're not extremely talented. Maybe you can walk in and just one off a verse or whatever, but you said a little earlier that wasn't the flow. No. So, I mean, myself, it takes hours sometimes just to nail one verse, just to get it to where I want it to be. So that means, how do you deal with that and being a dad and the working side of life and all of it? Like, just, do you find it hard?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? It's like not. I say this to my kids, and like I really try and, you know, let them like make sure that they believe this and that they know this. But nothing worth doing is easy, and that's what I tell them over and over and over. Nothing worth doing is easy, and to me, being a father, that's my number one priority. I have to be the best person that I can be and the best father I can be to my children. But yeah, no, it's hard. I mean, it's not easy, kind of like managing, you know, working and then going, taking care of your kids, picking them up from school. The mother of my two youngest just messaged me today. She's like, I'm supposed to get my kids Friday, but she's like, look, I'm working, so would you be able to get them tomorrow and Thursday and then Friday till Monday? So, you know, you got to work around whatever schedule it is. And then with the music, I just try and get it in. So when I have them, if they're, you know, sleeping or you know, doing something else, I'll kind of like close their room doors and then just try and get in a verse. And usually it takes 3 or 4 times at least before I like it. But I mean, you gotta just constantly be moving.
Do you record at home now?
Now, yeah. Over the past few months, I've been recording at home.
How long did it take to get your studio set up?
Not that long. I got a quality mic and just like a very simple studio because I don't do any mixing or anything at home.
I respect that. Me neither.
I don't do any of that. I got like, you know, Sky takes care of that. Gats is the one that's really doing all of our mixing. Okay. So as long as I get the vocals like crispy clean, I'll send them over to him and he does what he does. He went to school for that. He knows all about it. So I don't try and I give my 2 cents. I'm like, oh, let's do a little this here and a little that there. But I just get it done and send it over.
My kind of guy. Like, I swear that is my whole, that's my beat. Like, I'm the vocals. Y'all do the rest.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I do. I'll take care of the rap, and like if you can make it sound even better than it does, then I appreciate that. And
given at least my knowledge of these guys, it sounds pretty fucking great. Like, for real, you put on his tracks, it sounds studio. Like, it sounds...
Yeah, it's definitely... I've compared it. I've gone through, you know, back and forth on the same system, on different systems, just to hear the quality, and honestly, it's there, and these guys are amazing at what they do. That's why I fuck with them.
Yeah, I know Sky Beats, at least, has put in well over 10 years. I don't know about the other ones, but he was, like, deep in when I met him in, like, 2013-ish. So that's
he's
like
been in the game for a minute. He's doing it. He's really
nonstop. Anyway, I guess it's not all about Sky Beats, but if he does watch this, what's up,
Sky?
It's been a minute.
Free promo, bro.
Yeah, no. There's a picture on my wall that's over there. He can see it. It's taken by Sky Beats, actually. I don't fucking lie. Okay, enough about it. it's in his
guy out here, huh?
Yeah, man. Anyway. So
that's his name right there. Actually, now I'm looking at it, I see his name.
So, do you put time into planning your schedule? Because this is more of the grown-up side of shit. Because most people watching this aren't kids.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, you have to, right? In some way, you have to plan. You can't just go through life, you know, willy-nilly and just do whatever you want whenever you want. I am an adult. I do have responsibilities. So yeah, I do try and take time to plan my schedule. It doesn't always go according to schedule because life is hectic, right? So,
never does.
Yeah.
But like, do you go like, okay, so Tuesdays at 8 is rap time and this is kid time? Like, you actually make blocks?
I try to do that, but like I said, it never really works out that way. And it's because sometimes, like, I'll be honest with you, most of the time, like when it comes to me creating new music, it happens when I'm just like driving in the car, or you know, I'll just be doing so, or shopping for groceries, and I'll just think of something. It just randomly comes, and I'll just record. Like, I have so many. You should see on my phone how many different 20-second, 10-second, 30-second different snippets that I have of verses or songs or so you just like choruses, anything, hooks. It's crazy.
So you just like sit there and just like got a line.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Middle of the grocery store.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where I am or what I'm doing. I'll do it.
I think I like you even more.
Appreciate that.
That's fucking cool. Like, I never would have thought to do that.
I'm telling you, man. I'll tell you what happened is after we finish this. You know what I mean? But honestly, it's helped me out a lot because a lot of the time, like, I have which track was it? Fuck You All, I think, with S. Gats. where I was writing it, and then there was just one part I was just like, you know what? I'm like, what can I put here? What can I say? So I just went through my list. I think I got to like the 20th or 30th entry, and I heard it, and I'm like, holy fuck! I'm like, this is perfect. So I added it in, but then re-recorded the entire verse just to make sure that it flowed, and it went perfectly, and it was exactly what I was looking for. And I had put this there maybe a year prior. So it's like these are things that like really help me out, because you can't, when you get any kind of creativity comes, you have to like, you have to make sure you catch it in the moment. You know what I mean? You can't let it escape, because as an artist, I'm sure you've thought of a flow or thought of something, and then by the time you went to write it down, you completely forgot about it.
So for me, it's like this. Maybe I do a certain something, and then I take a shower, and your mind's flowing. Mm-hmm. And I might be known to be a shower freestyler.
Oh, that's the best way.
It is absolutely magic. And like, you know it. Like, you know when something is like, holy shit. And then I run to my computer, buck ass naked, dripping water.
Yeah.
And it's gone. I get like 2 lines and it's just gone.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I've honestly, and like, I know this has happened to me on many occasions. That's why I'm laughing, because this is some shit. I'll be in the shower, like, I swear to God, you think I'll think I'm like Usher or some shit in the shower. I'll just be singing my ass off. I can't even sing. I rap. But I mean, I'll think of something or a good flow, and this is how I first discovered that my cell phone was like waterproof, because I went to the app and I'm like, dripping water, just go on like,
Which phone do you have?
I got which phone do I have? Samsung.
Nice. Yeah, mine's a waterproof Samsung too.
There you go. But yeah, it's so I'll go and I'll just have to record right away, or I'll forget it. And like, I have a chorus right now on my phone. I have a hook in my phone right now that's gonna blow people's minds, and it's dope. I'm not gonna like say too much, because we didn't even make a beat. We're gonna have to make a beat around that hook. And it's gonna be nuts. And I know that Wes can do it, and I know that Gats will be able to do it as well. It's gonna be bananas. Trust me.
So what I love about what you just said, because I'm a bit of a geek here, is that you leveraged technology to enhance your game.
Of course.
Because the last interview I did, we had a little conversation of pen versus keyboard. See, I'm a phone guy.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a Microsoft Word file. You know why? Because I fucking hate rewriting lyrics.
Yeah.
So you fuck up, now I got to rewrite it on a new page. And if you're like me, you fuck up a lot. You know what I like? Delete keys. So for me, it was about laziness. And I got into just, and I can go, whatever. I'm that kind of guy. But you know what I never thought? The fucking mic. Like, I just never thought of using that shit.
Yeah, because you know, like me personally, when I write, I'm old school. I have to see it on paper, because I know I gotta extend the word. Like, I'll for example, I'll use the word like, and I'll add like 8 E's to it. But the way I write it in my book, I've got books and books of rhymes. The way I write it, I know how it flows.
No shit.
Until I record, once I master it, then I have on my phone. I'll take it on my phone and I'll write it. So this way, you can record without having the paper sound in the background and whatever. Then I'll transfer it over to my cell phone, and I'll record using that.
So you'll like make A's and shit differently to reflect a certain code to your.
Depending on the pronunciation, or if I have to like elongate the word or whatever it may be, I write things differently, and I know, like, if I'm like da-da-da-da-da-da-da, I write like certain, you'll be able to see it. Like, if you saw my rhyme book, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? It looks like chicken scratch. And I got like fairly good writing, but you'll be like, why is this word a little higher than that word? Like, literally on a line, one word will be a little bit higher. So I know I got to go with like a higher tone in that for that word, or it's fucked up. I'm like,
nah, that is fucking cool, right? Like, at least to me, because I mean, I'm super curious about stuff. Like, when I watch crap like this on the internet, the stuff I want to know about is often like, how did they actually write the song? Like, at a more like literal level, that's so interesting that you basically create a cipher, which is very similar to how accents and everything already just work in language and writing, but like to yourself. And that might be one of the best cases for pen and paper anyone's made to me in like the longest freaking time. I mean, I'm certain you could replicate that shit on a phone, but
again, with the technology, huh?
Because it's, I mean, I'm a huge fan of technology, just because I think it's the future for all of us, whether we like it or not. I know that I'm starting to get old enough to
agree with you.
To go TikTok, and then I made a TikTok account. and then I got like 14 followers doing nothing.
There you go. And honestly, who was it? I think it was Wes that was telling me, like, yo, look, TikTok and so on and so forth. So I opened up an account on TikTok, and then I just started following my kids so I could see what they're doing. And I haven't really added anything to it, you know? But I haven't even actually opened up my account. Maybe I got some followers on there. Who knows?
If I'm not mistaken, just in a conversation, you said you use DistroKid.
Yeah, I do. I use DistroKid.
So DistroKid pushes your shit to TikTok. And if you go through the TikTok thing, so I made sure...
My songs are on TikTok right now.
All 4 of my TikToks only have my music. That's
the only way to do it. You got to promote yourself as much as possible.
But I'm so old with it. I saw that there's like a minute, and then I couldn't figure out how to like adjust the song and shit. And I realized, I'm just saying it because I'm being real, I had the most old man moment, just like trying to figure out how to TikTok right, and I hit publish, and my first TikTok went out, and I'm like, okay, and then people put some 3-letter jargon, I didn't know what it was.
3-letter jargon, he says.
I'm like, yeah, I made some abbreviation. I had to go to Urban Dictionary, and I'm like, what does this mean? And I'm like, oh shit. But like, I think it's super cool that you're open-minded to doing the things that like I think need to be done, like in terms of like TikToking, and especially if you have kids. Like,
they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, listen, my daughter is like, she'll be on Instagram. My oldest daughter, she'll have like 2,000 followers, and I'm like, how do you don't know 2,000 people? I'm like, what's going on over here? She's like, oh well, you know, like, it's friends of friends and so on, and she's talking about TikTok. My youngest daughter's big on that. I started her up a YouTube channel.
Oh,
that's
sick.
what last Christmas she said. The only thing I want for Christmas is a YouTube channel. It's free, but I mean, like, that's what she wanted, and she's putting up content on a regular basis.
I respect you. You know why? Because so many parents still have that old school blah blah blah. But like, on the real, I got promoted at work. You know, my life has improved in corporate land, and it's because I podcast. And so I'm doing something that requires a lot of, I guess, time to build, but becomes kind of interesting to the old people that don't do it. So the one thing I kind of wished is I'd maybe started this when I was 20.
Yeah.
And then I would picture myself 10 years deep today and going, oh shit, I'd be like...
But see, I do that all the time, and that's like that's the worst thing, because you're like, oh, what
you're letting
right?
your daughter do it.
Exactly.
And that's where I was going. Like, my dad was maybe not encouraging of this type of stuff. Go to school, science, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're letting your daughter do it. And I think that's really cool.
Well, me personally, like, this is like, when it comes to music, that's my passion. You know what I mean? And like, which people don't really see when they look at me, like, covered in tattoos, this and that, rapper, so on and so forth. But
it's more the French shirt, dude.
You like the French shirt, right?
Yeah, it's the French shirt that makes me go, I don't know if he's a rapper.
Just trying to appeal to white America.
I respect it.
I'm fucking with you. Friends was a great show. But what I do, what was I going with this? But yeah, what I do personally is, like, I love it. This is my passion. And my daughter is so, like, she's like, this is what she wants to do. And she's like, I want to be a YouTuber. This is what I want. So me, I'm not going to ever stop any of my kids from doing what they love. I'll support them 100%. And they're not like, I mean, me, like, we've raised them so that it's, you know, that they're going to make, you know, good conscious decisions. I don't think you're like, hey, I want to grow up and be, you know, some kind of ridiculous person or whatever. This is what she wants to do. She wants to do that. My son wants to be a pilot. So I'm going to say, we sat there and looked and said, okay, you got to go to pilot school. You got to do this. You got to do that. So we're there to support them. And for my daughter, she wanted to do YouTubing. She wanted to be a YouTuber. So I said, fuck this. I'm going to get her a YouTube channel set up. I'm going to make sure, because you're never going to be good at what you want to do when you first start. So if she's now at 9 years old doing this, like, imagine, like you said, 10 years. And at 19, she's going to be like, she's setting up her daily routine.
She could be a fucking Kylie Jenner by 19.
I'm telling you. I don't doubt it. Honestly, she has so much passion, and she's so smart, and like, the camera loves her. So on top of it all, she has pretty much every quality that you need in order to, you know, go somewhere with it. And I'm going to support that 100%.
That's really cool. Man, yeah, I guess I got distracted by it a little bit, but so you're willing to do the TikTok, but would you, because you could TikTok with your kids.
Yeah, for sure.
That's lucky. I don't have kids
definitely
to
do that.
TikTok with.
So I'll make a little dance with them and do like one of my tracks. I don't care. That'll be pretty dope, actually.
You know what? That's a way where I would accept virality. Doing it with your kids and being like a good dad is a good time to fucking go viral. And if it just so happens your son's in the backdrop, and then you got the dad dance challenge, and the next thing you know, 1 million fucking subscribers on YouTube's.
Hey, can't go wrong, man.
Nah, it's really cool. What about live? So I know that I believe you said performing isn't like in shows isn't your biggest thing, but
Not for the moment.
like in the current era, live is becoming interesting. So something we don't often talk about here is the technological trends in China, but I like to look at that, and live is like dominating there. So we look at like ads, they look at live feeds of people trying on clothes in real time. You know, like, so that's like whether or not we like it, live is moving its way over to the West. With shit like Instagram Live and Facebook Live and whatnot, would you just like spit at the camera? Your songs, whatever, like a show, but just live.
I mean, yeah, I guess why not? I mean, I'll try anything, you know what I mean, for the most part. It's like it's something that's fun to do. I mean, why not? Why not test it out? If it's a possibility for you to gain any sort of recognition or, you know, to further your career by, you know, trying something you've never attempted before, then I mean, I'm all for it.
I mean, at the very least, you get a video, which is maybe not high quality video, but that's not the point. It's live. Nobody gives a shit about high quality.
Look at Bobby Shmurda's first video. That wasn't a high quality video. This guy fucking blew right up. It doesn't matter. So again, it's a catchy tune.
You know, whatever, if you see a dude holding a microphone and it's clearly live, and maybe it's not like a polished guy touched it out video, you don't give a shit. You're here to hear the live rawness. So I don't know. I'm curious because I want to explore that in 2020. I want to see what the fuck can happen. Like, I don't know, fuck it. Bring you in, you spit your track live over the channel. That kind of shit, like, is on my mind. I'm just trying to say, are people open to that? And then asking y'all, because y'all are the city. You know, anyone who comes through here, and it's, if you guys are down, and then y'all too, you can let us know in the comments if you're open to it, because y'all are here too. I forgot. But yeah, I don't know. Do you think it's worth pursuing as like at least the older end of the city, considering where the city's at with live shows, which in the short version is it's not doing very well in terms of live shows right now on the lower end. We're not talking about setup shit. We're talking about guys without numbers yet.
Just trying to break out, yeah. I mean, it's this something I would definitely try. Like, why not? And I'll be honest with you, if I see a video of just like of a rapper who's just sitting there with a microphone in their hand and the camera's just on them, what that's gonna do for me is make me want to listen to every fucking word that this guy's saying. I want to be like, you know what? I want to hear every single thing, because if there's like, you know, a bunch of women in the background and throwing cash and they're driving all these cars, like, all right, cool, it's probably a party track or whatever, a club track or whatever it may be. But if you're sitting there with a camera in front of you, me sitting here like this with the camera, and just me rapping, you have no other option but to pay attention to my lyrical content. You have no other option.
Shit.
There's no distractions, and that's something I would 1,000,000% do. Because personally, I'm a big, like you already know, I'm a big fan and big like advocate for lyrical content. I'm not all about, you know, just empty raps that have a good flow. Like, sure, people will enjoy it, but if I have a message to any sort of message to say or anything to say whatsoever, then I want people to hear it, and that's a perfect way to get that point across and get your message across.
So like, I was super into my live idea. I never considered that we could niche it up as a move for lyrical people before, so this was super fucking cool for me.
Guaranteed. I'll sit there and write 40 bars and just me just rapping to a camera or just rapping into a microphone, and just like this, just sitting here like this, and I guarantee you more people will listen to that than they would with your video playing in the background with a whole bunch of whatever it may be distracting you. Well, this is what I think personally, but I mean, the less distractions, the more you pay attention to whatever, you know, subject or whatever it is at hand, right?
I think you have a fair point, because I'll be honest, at least, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I don't think it's going to work on 20-year-olds. But you definitely got some older cats that would sit there and appreciate the fact that the effort's put into it. Maybe that's the move, man. Maybe we all got to just start rapping at cameras more and fuck the live shit.
Listen, you know what? I honestly, after this conversation, I'm gonna write something, and I'm just gonna be me sitting there for like 20 to 40 bars just rapping at the camera, and let's see what happens. Let's see if people pay attention to it. I'll put that shit on Instagram, the IGTV, or put it wherever, throw it up, have someone throw it up on Facebook, put it up on my page, on YouTube, whatever it may be, and I want to see if people actually listen to what the fuck I have to say.
Honestly, I've been loafing, and I've had this idea for a while. I'm going to do the same shit.
That's what's up.
I got mics over there, more of that kind of like perform on, so I don't know. I want to fuck with that. In the future, Montreal, I want to see what we can do to build, like, just whether we is a vague term, but build a kind of liver ecosystem. Now, on the more corporate side, it's a lot easier to get motherfuckers to put their credit card number into a website than it is to give you cash at a show.
Oh, guaranteed.
Because I don't carry cash. I actually hate the part where I have to go to an ATM to pull out like $40 so I can buy the one drink at the bar that doesn't take debit.
I don't like banks account. I don't trust banks.
Fair enough. Direct deposit or bust in my world.
Yeah, there you go. No, I mean, everybody needs them, you know what I mean, in order to get paid or whatnot, but I'm just saying.
No, it's just... I
get what you're saying. Got to keep cash on hand.
I agree with that shit.
Say.
So, like, I started doing that. I mean, I actually had to blow it all because I bought an elliptical, I broke, I bought a new elliptical. But thank goodness I had cash on hand. I started stashing shit away, and I'm like, it actually makes more sense because the problem with a bank on the other side of it is it's invisible, so you just spend it. I've
noticed that too. That's why cash, you see you go from 2,000 in your pocket to like 500, and you see that stack getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You're like, listen, I gotta make that shit back right away, or like, why am I spending so much money? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that makes total sense to me. Otherwise,
plus, like me personally, I used to, what made me really just want to walk around with cash all the time is going out and seeing like, oh, okay, I can get this right now, but I don't have cash on me, and that's what they take. And I was like, fuck that. And I used to just leave the house every day with X amount of dollars on me, and this way I would like make sure that I would be able to buy whatever I want that it is that I saw.
It's crazy how much the world's flipped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of running out of questions at this point.
No worries.
So, do you see yourself, like, in the long run, in the next couple of years, ending up at places where you're setting up tours, where you're pushing that kind of shit? Because you said you got the label thing that you're starting, and I guess, where is the more direction you want to go with that? Like, is it to move in that world, or is it to more focus on just banging out content and getting that internet equity?
I mean, for now, like, what we did was we went with Go for Gang Entertainment, right? So it's not just like a record label. We can have all aspects of entertainment regardless. So what we're doing is we're trying to focus on getting that set up, but for now we're going to stick with what we know, which is, hip hop, making music. We have MBS, Northern Beat Society. Right. And that's basically with that, what we're doing is we have producers, and they're making the beats. We have like me, we have Gats who are rapping right now. We have our distro that we're doing, and I spoke to another local artist, that he wants to do a track, and he wants to go through my distro or our distro through Go for Gang Entertainment. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like what you want to do is you want to be able to book those world tours. You want to I want to put out a studio album because I want to say what I have to say in anywhere between 14 to 20 tracks. On one single album, but that's the point that everybody wants to get to, where people are actually going to listen to your music. And I mean, I won't say that's the final destination for your music, because obviously you want to keep going, growing, and expanding. But as it is now, we're going to stick to what we know, and we're just going to keep pumping out these hits, because honestly, we have tracks that we recorded that we were supposed to release that we didn't, just because we're like, people will like them, but we feel that it's subpar, so we're not going to release those tracks because it doesn't live up to our expectations. Regardless of the majority of people who hear it are going to like it, we don't like it, so we're going to let those tracks just sit, and maybe we'll do something with them later, but for now we're going to keep sticking to what we know and putting out quality music.
I really love the standard. I really do. Anyhow, I don't want to push it. If I don't know, if you have anything more you want to comment, wrap up, some kind of final touches on this.
I mean, at the end of the day, first of all, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Having me here and just supporting Montreal on the whole. It's amazing, because people don't give a fuck about people like in your own city, like we've already spoke about. But
I mean, I'm trying not to be salty, but I see a lot of people who are very quick to point the finger at the problems, but not a lot of people willing to talk solutions. Yeah, and I'll leave it at that. So I can't have a negative opinion if I'm not willing to say this is what I can do.
Yeah, of course, and I respect that 100%. Besides that, it's listen to the music. Just want whoever's watching, whoever's listening, just check out the music. I can guarantee you there's something that you're gonna feel, because we touch a lot of different aspects. Like we have, Fuck You All. It's called Fuck You All, but the track's actually about, it's me and S. Gats, and it's actually about where we came from and people who didn't believe in us, and the point that we're at now, and where we're going to continue to grow, how we're going to continue to grow. And then we have, Gun You Down, which is just a complete party track, which is out of control. And then there's the relationship that I did, which is, about a relationship, which everybody's been in at some point in their life for the most part.
I like that you used an exclamation mark instead of the I.
You know what? I can't take credit for that. That was Gats. I had an asterisk instead of exclamation point. But yeah, he did that.
It caught my eye and it gave me a little smile.
Oh, there you go.
Because you get around all the censors.
So, shout out Gats. Look, you, it's working, bro.
Nah, it was really a pleasure. Like, I think it's cool because you're a smart, open-minded guy. I love that you were willing to talk about more of your non-music life because I think that's like the complete picture, you know, like looking at a person full. And honestly, I hope to see y'all back here again. And Gats and Mr. West, y'all are all welcome too. You know, don't be strangers. I don't know. Maybe you live far away and it's hard to get here. And did you?
Gats does.
Fair enough.
A couple hours.
But if you're ever in the hood and it's, you know, let me know and whatnot. Either way, I thank you for coming through. I look forward to seeing what comes next. I think it's really dope. I will watch your visuals when they do come.
I appreciate that. I'll let you know when they drop.
I like that music videos became visuals.
Yeah, I know. Now it's visual. I'm like, But yeah, videos are going to be dropping. When they drop, it's going to be hot.
Fair enough. So, also, y'all can feel free to ask questions. And then the next time the man is here, we'll just bring up them YouTube questions if y'all come up with any. I mean, being realistic, you might come back and there's a question. But maybe...
I'll answer it.
Maybe the fucking shit blows up and maybe, because we're always hoping. I'm just humble about...
of course.
The reality of where we're all at.
Well, you're doing good things. I don't see anywhere going. I don't see it going anywhere but up.
It absolutely keeps growing, but just like everything good in life, it takes ages. Like wine.
Well, like I told my kids, anything worth doing isn't easy, right?
But it's worth it.
So, of course,
I would just
definitely worth it.
Never want to say it's hard without saying I don't think I'd be the person I am today without this kind of a journey in life. Because the truth is, here I am talking to you, and let's be real. If I wasn't here putting in this effort, you wouldn't give a shit about me. And I don't mean that disrespectfully.
Yeah, no, but it's true. I mean, like, if you're not gonna give a fuck about yourself, why would anyone else, right?
I'd just be another rapper in Montreal trying to get more attention without anything to offer. And I say that pointedly because I hope people in the city might try and do this, man. You know how you start a podcast? Two $25 mics on Amazon. Reaper, the sound engineering software, costs $60. You got a podcast. Honestly, you just record it and fucking do a bullshit mix job and hit render. And then if you want to do video, get a webcam. Add an extra little layer. Okay, OBS. That's the video side. Guess what? That shit's free. So it doesn't cost more money except for the webcam. And you can run the audio all through it. And boom. Now what? All right, everybody knows. Now you can just make your own shit.
It probably won't be the same quality as this in regards to content, but you guys could try.
I mean...
This is a good convo.
Maybe, like, yeah, from, like, that side. But technologically speaking, it would come pretty fucking close on a lot less money. I spent more money than I needed to get to where I was. And that's, I guess, a rookie mistake many of us make, is spending a lot at first. But you can get away with some dirt cheap shit and get some real results. So I'm just saying to encourage all of y'all, because nothing... Anyway. So I guess that's cool. We can migrate into the little part where I talk to the camera for the outro. So thank y'all for watching for real, because y'all the real MVPs. Whatever we're talking about, it doesn't really matter if you guys aren't listening, because that's the whole point of this. So thank y'all for real. I look forward to reading your comments and seeing what's up. I'll be forwarding them on over to him so he can get a little look. See, he can come pop in and give a little comment replies too. So feel free to let that up. I'm all about community and discussion. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. If you do like this, feel free to hit subscribe. Like 98% of my content's more album reviews, but I want to bring these Montreal people coming through thing happening as much as I can get it running, because I think it's important. So you'll get more of that if you stick around. For you local Montreal people, turn off the notifications if you don't want to get spammed. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. Do hit subscribe, hit like. And before we go, special thanks to the patrons. This is Mil Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, CJ Black, Hurricane, Linda Williams, and Coney Sparks. They're dope. They support what we do. Helped us get the new camera. Put us on the Spotify. Gonna help us with the website when I get around to it. Probably around Christmas time, which I keep putting off. Sorry. And they get the power with all of that generosity to tell us what albums they want to review. So let's say you want to watch us sit there and maybe like us, as in more the regular crew, talk about whatever album that you care about. You can throw that down or whatever. You know, we can figure it out. And yeah, I make music myself, which has been touched on a bit, but it's my usual outro plug. You can check that out on the channel and whatnot. Holden Stephan Roy, the alternative ground. Let me know what you think. I totally look forward to hearing what you think. And on that note, live long and prosper, everyone.